Now tomorrow night, Sky Box Office will bring you the magnificent seven fights live from the LG Arena in Birmingham, and Craig Slater is there for what could be a very interesting weigh-in. Craig.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are all set to go for this weigh-in for the Magnificent Seven. You've seen the movie, now try the fights. But yeah, what a cast we have as well. Some big names, some great fights on the bill. But of course the original had a fantastic cast as well, didn't it? Robert Vaughn, James Coburn, Steve McQueen, they were box office legends. We've got a couple of Sky box office legends here. It's Jim Watts and Ian Darke who'll be calling the shots on Fight Night. But Jim, do you expect any of the fighters to pull a few stunts at this weigh-in today? There was some hijinks at the news conference yesterday.
Yeah, well, usually you like to see the fighters like to score little psychological points, but a couple of the matches there is genuine needle in there. So I'm surprised if the heavyweight weigh-in goes off without a little bit of back chat back and forward. And maybe the DeGale Dilks fight too, there seems to be a little bit of nastiness behind the scenes there, so who knows, we might see a little bit of, aggro.
Yeah, this venue as well, Ian, has plenty of history about it, some famous boxing nights here before. Can we expect another?
Well, 20 years ago, you're spot on. Of course, one of the all-time British classic fights, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. Eubank won in the 9th round. People still talk about that fight, and we hope that there'll be a few thrillers on this bill. I think there will be.
Okay, thanks very much, gents, for the moment. Yes, Ian and Jim will be leading us through this weigh-in, but first we'll hear from our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Goodall.
We welcome viewers joining us live on Sky Sports News to the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's promotion here at the LG Arena, the NEC in Birmingham, where Frank Warren proudly presents the Magnificent Seven. 7 title fights in one night, which can be seen live on Sky Box Office HD by booking on 0442 410 888. Can I please have first to the scales the contestants for the WBO Intercontinental Welterweight Championship. First of all, the former British champion from Chorley, Michael Jennings.
136 and lost to his most notable defeat against Miguel Cotto. No disgrace there, but it's at 10 stone 7, 147 pounds the limit. He's got to be inside. How do you look, Jim?
Yeah, it looks tremendous. If you look at the midriff there, how solid he looks. Yep. Excellent tradesman, and maybe the first real test for young Brook.
Comfortably inside there. Kell Brook, one of the sensations of British boxing, young sensations. 21 fights. He's won all 21 with 14 knockouts. He's won 9 of his last 10 by stoppage. He looks in prime condition, Ian.
10 stone, 6.5 pounds.
Yeah, half a pound inside the limit there. I'm really interested in this fighter. I think he could be a big star of the future, but he's got to do it tomorrow night, and Jennings is a very crafty technician. Yeah,
just Kell Brook muttering a few words to Michael Jennings there, but Michael Jennings has been there and done it all before, and he has that experience of that world title fight. Although he lost it, Jim, that's good experience to have in the bag.
Yeah, when you share the ring with Miguel Cotto, one of the best welterweights in the world, then he won't be too worried about Brooks, but he knows this is a difficult job for him, but he'll be looking for victory.
Okay, a little known fighter perhaps to British fight fans, Shalva Jamardashvili. He's quite a puncher though, 15 knockout wins inside 3 rounds, and he's taking on Matthew Macklin for the vacant European middleweight title. 11 stone 6 the limit here, 160 pounds.
Well, there he is, this fellow. I think he's resilient. We saw him against Martin Murray over here. He's a good middleweight. He did okay in that fight.
5 of Shalva Jamardashvili.
27 wins in 30 fights, and Macklin should beat him, and I think the danger for Macklin in this fight is he was supposed to fight against Barker in a big middleweight clash. This is a substitute opponent. Complacency could be a problem, of course.
Yeah, very much the home favourite, Matthew Macklin, 28 years of age now. He's been a pro for 9 years. Won 26 of his 28 fights with just the 2 defeats.
Matthew Macklin, 11 stone 5 pounds.
Most notable defeat against Jamie Moore in one of the fights of the year of 2006, Jim, but he's rebuilt so well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think that loss was the making of him. I think he realised he was boxing in the wrong weight division. He's up at middleweight now, but I tell you, when you look at the both of them, he's facing a big middleweight tomorrow night. Jamardashvili He's a fighter who won't get many opportunities in his career. This is a huge opportunity and he'll be going for it tomorrow night.
I think the other thing to do with Macklin is he's top 10 ranked now by all the world governing bodies. He's on the brink of a world title fight. He's trained most of the time by Freddie Roach, of course, a famous trainer in America.
Yeah, now the WBO light heavyweight title eliminator. And here's Karo Murat, an interesting character, born in Armenia. Early years of his life, he lived in Iraq, but now based in Bavaria in Germany. 12 stone 7, 175 pounds, the light heavyweight limit.
Former European champion as well.
At super middleweight, yeah. That's right. He looks like he's come here with plenty of determination, doesn't he, Jim?
Yeah, but he's a very tough customer. He likes to get close, through short, solid hooks to body and head, and he feels he has the perfect style to deal with Nathan Cleverly.
Two unbeaten fighters here. Nathan Cleverly, he's had a 19-fight career, won all 19 with 9 victories inside schedule. He's won his last 6 by knockout. He's full of confidence, and he's a maths graduate as well, a brain box too.
5 3/4.
So quarter of a pound inside the limit. Cleverly is really, really exciting. Every test they give him, he passes. There's the old face-to-face again.
Right.
You said that we might get stoked up. It is here.
That's right, yeah. He's just the pair of them bumping foreheads there, but Cleverly talks to Murat. Okay, such a nice guy. You know, mild-mannered character. But when he gets close to a fight, you can see he has that devilment about him, doesn't he? He's got that streak.
Yep, I always look upon Cleverly as a kind of natural athlete, natural stamina, natural ability, and his power is improving.
It's an interesting one too, a bit of a grudge match. This has become James DeGale against Carl Dilks. They had plenty of verbals at the news conference yesterday. 12 stone, the super middleweight limit that Dilks has to be inside.
Well, this is the big latest test, of course, for Olympic champion James DeGale. And Carl Dilks was saying, I'm going to banjo him in his Scouse accent.
Yes. Yeah, Dilks reckons he's going to win inside 4. James DeGale predicting a 6-round stoppage win, but it's a learning fight this again, isn't it?
Watch the weight here, because he's had a problem, I think.
Yeah, he was 6 pounds over the super middleweight limit yesterday evening, and now he's going to have to strip naked to make the 12 stone limit. But we talked about this yesterday evening, Jim. Fighters don't spend very long at the championship weight, do they?
No, there's this 24-hour in advance weigh-in. I mean, fighters are encouraged to drop down, to a weight below or natural weight, but he's struggling. I don't think he's made the weight. But looking at his face, I think he's missed the scales here.
He had a check weigh-in about half an hour ago, and he was still a pound over. So he's got 2 hours to take that extra weight off. Shouldn't be much of a problem for him.
What this says to me is he's either outgrowing super middleweight, or it doesn't reflect too well on the way he's prepared for this fight. I mean, nobody likes to knock.
Bit of pushing and shoving there.
Yeah,
Dilks just gave DeGale a shove after he'd taunted him. He'd knock him out in 6.
This is bad news for DeGale, because I'm sure he must have been to the gymnasium already this morning to shed the extra weight. That means he's going to have to go back again and get some more weight off. He is obviously struggling.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll keep you updated with James DeGale's situation. But this is a big fight now.
Yeah, that's the story of this weigh-in so far, though, that problem for DeGale, I'd say.
This Alexander Frenkel, a murderous punching German, and he's a bit of a dapper Dan, isn't he? Jim, he's very well dressed. He doesn't have a hair out of place.
Yeah, but some people feel he's been well protected. He hasn't really had too many risks in his career. They're taking a big risk for it, but I think he's more than ready.
So he is challenging for Enzo Macronelli's European cruiserweight title. Enzo usually comfortably inside the cruiserweight limit, isn't he?
Yeah, well, they moved the weight division a few years ago, which suited Enzo, so he's no problem.
How tough is this going to be for Macronelli?
Hard to say, really. The other guy's fresher, but Macronelli's proven, of course. A year ago, his career was in tatters. Looked like he was finished. Frank Warren told him to retire. He's come back with 3 first-round wins, winning the European title. Might even get another world title shot again. But this, I think, is not a formality for him.
But the German promoters, Sauerland Events, out in force for this weigh-in, and I think it's Frenkel they've come here to support. They think he's going to go on to big things in the future. But now Lucas Konechny who is challenging for the vacant European light middleweight title against Matthew Hall. Light middleweight limit 11 stones, 154 pounds. He's from the Czech Republic,
12 3/4.
Konechny, and he's comfortably inside. 47 fights he's had, experienced fella, 44 wins. Big chance for Matthew Hall though, Jim.
A huge chance. Matthew Hall losing against Anthony Small last year, a heavy loss. Probably felt it'd be more than a year before any chances would come his way. This has come out of the blue. He'll grab it with both hands, but this is a tough one for him. Konechny is a decent performer.
Well, they're quite respectful, those two, aren't they?
Yes,
as well? Even a smile.
I don't think we'll get smiles now though, do you guys? Because it's the big boys now, Derek Chisora and Sam Sexton. There was no love lost at the news conference.
This is a rematch, of course, because the only defeat Sexton's had was when Chisora stopped him in the last round of a 6-rounder a couple of years ago.
Of course, no weight limit here, but Sam Sexton's heaviest weight was at 17 stone 7. He scaled a few fights back. And he's just 5 pounds inside that, so that's quite heavy for here. But here comes Derek Chisora, the show stealer from yesterday's news conference.
I mean, I wonder whether he could be the future for British heavyweight boxing post-Hay, Harrison and all that kind of thing. He's a character. He can be a bit volcanic temperamentally, as you can see, and he likes to steal the show.
Yeah. He is an entertainer, but we need that in the heavyweight division, don't we? Look at this now. Oh, are we going to get a kiss? He kissed Carl Baker the fight before last at just this moment, but the two of them just locking horns there.
Yeah, but the Board of Control will be hoping they can fine him again. He's a regular source of income to the Board of Control, but I think he's going to behave this afternoon.
I think with Chisora, of course, he took the title off Danny Williams, but it was a very shot Danny Williams. So how good is that form? Some people around here think Sexton might just be the man to stop him and put a halt to his run.
Okay, thanks very much. Yeah, well, fascinating. That was very interesting. Of course, I think the main story to emerge from the weigh-in today is the fact that James DeGale has failed to make the super middleweight limit. Now, I'll just get your views on this first, Jim. He was 6 pounds over yesterday. I mean, that seemed quite a lot. Normally the regime is you lose a pound a day in the run-up to the weigh-in itself. What do you read into this scenario?
Well, you have to say it's very unprofessional. I mean, he had a trial weigh-in less than an hour ago. They must have known then, and it's the same scales. They had a trial weigh-in on those scales, so they must have been over. Step on the scales, strip off, still overweight. So it's very unprofessional. I'm surprised at Jim McDonnell.
But you expect him to make it comfortably enough in the end, though?
Well, in the end, but there's a subplot here, of course. The Dilks camp was saying at the first press conference for this that DeGale, when he'd gone to Spain to train, he'd done too much partying. Now he doesn't make the weight at the weigh-in, so they're going to say, well, maybe we had a point. We thought it was just a wind-up, but it's not what DeGale would want, not at all.
Okay, so we've got 7 big fights, so fight of the night for you, Jim?
I'm looking forward to the heavyweight fight. I think there's genuine needle there. It's a rematch, and but I think Sexton has improved a lot. I think Sexton has probably improved more than Chisora, but whether he's improved enough to overtake, we don't know. We'll find that out tomorrow.
What about you, Ian?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the whole bill. I think it's a fantastic night for boxing fans, an absolute feast, really. And you've got 5-6 hours of really good fights on this bill, so hey, if I was not here, I'd certainly be sitting at home watching it.
Okay, thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much, Jim. Yes, a fantastic night in prospects and big fights, world title eliminators, European title fights, British title fights, big names in action. As Ian says, 6 hours of live boxing. It all adds up to a tremendous evening. It is the Magnificent Seven.
Great, thank you very much indeed. James DeGale will be back on those scales. Of course, you can guarantee that those scales, after 14 men have been trampling all over them, will be retired after that weigh-in. The Magnificent Seven